and welcome to Hot Topics Wednesdays. Today we're going to talk about productivity because productivity online is super important. Most of us dream about having a flexible job, being able to work in our pajamas or from anywhere in the world. But when we actually get that online teaching position or start that online business, we become slaves to the online technologies. Because when you work online, your workday can last as long as 24 hours. So how are you gonna balance work and play time? Well, today we're gonna have a guest, a very important guest, Joanne Corey. And Joanne is known as the leader, as a champion of human potential in the area of business enterprises. And she's also an author of several books on productivity. And today, Joanne is gonna share her wisdom with you, and will let you know how to be more productive and not go crazy online. Enjoy.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm just really excited to be able to share some few tips regarding how to increase your productivity, and I call it working smart. You know, it's funny how we want to get so much accomplished in such a short period of time, and yet there are certain realities that we have to deal with. The first reality we have to deal with is there's only 24 hours in a day. That's it. And, you know, just because you wish it was 27 doesn't make it so. So because we only have 24 hours in a day, working smart so that we can increase our productivity is really critical. So, you know, what is working smart? Working smart is the ability to be informed about what it takes to get what you really want. Okay? So in this short sharing, I'm going to share with you, I consider to be 3 tips to working smart that will radically change what you do when you put them into practice. And I know radical sounds extreme, but honestly, it will. It absolutely will. Okay? The first thing to working smart is making sure that you're realistic and working within fixed limits. So here's what I mean. I'd like for all of you listening to take out a calendar, and particularly a week at a glance. And I'd like for you to look at that week at a glance and notice and mark on there what are your primary working hours. And I'm putting that in quotes because I know for folks listening it's going to be different depending on what your role is and what you do. And I'd like for you to look at, okay, these are my working hours. And you'll notice that on that week at a glance calendar, it is fixed. I mean, there's only from, 8 o'clock in the morning to, 6 o'clock at night or 5 o'clock at night or whatever, it is fixed. Consider those a fixed boundary. Now, in that fixed boundary, you have to say to yourself, how can I get exactly what I want done within this fixed boundary? And what are going to be the things that challenge me to go off course when I'm trying to get things done? So point 1, or strategy 1 in working smart, is be conscious and visual about your fixed boundary. The practical way to do that, look at a week at a glance. That's what I recommend more than anything, a week at a glance. Identify and square out what is my fixed boundary for the week. So that's working smart strategy number 1. Strategy number 2 is then to say, okay, now, of this fixed time that I have, this fixed boundary, what do I absolutely need and want to get done in this time frame? And it's funny, when you ask yourself that question and you look at the fixed limit boundaries, all of a sudden you realize, I don't really even have that much time. It's going to go pretty fast. There's not that much time here. And that awareness is really critical to being a better decision maker, to being able to say no in good conscience, and to be able to strategize more specifically and strategic, more, I'm going to use the word ruthlessly, what you want to do with your time. So you're working within a fixed boundary. You ask yourself, what do I absolutely need to get done? Many people do function from a to-do list. And you're going to take elements off your to-do list. And this is number 3, you're going to plug it into your calendar. The theory is you're going to make appointments with your tasks. Most people have a calendar. The only thing on it are appointments and conference calls. I recommend taking it to a whole new level. Look at your fixed boundary, and what you want to do is take your task, plug them into your calendar, and that brings me to number 4, and that is to estimate how long you think it's going to take to do certain functions. So you take your absolutely gotta get done, I call them your A absolutes, you put them on your calendar, and you estimate how long you think it's going to take to do it. Now, when you do that and you plug in appointments and you set, okay, I'm going to work on writing from 9 to 10, or I'm going to prep for an event from 10 to 12. When you start plugging in your activities and applying time frames to your activities, here's what you're going to notice: how much time you don't have. And what you may also notice is, I barely have time to do the stuff that I really need to get done, let alone all the miscellaneous things that come up. So in reality, if you want to work smart, if you want to be more productive, number 1, you've got to be keenly aware of time. The best way to do that, and the most practical way to do that, is look at an actual week at a glance. My recommendation is to go from being list-oriented or master list-oriented, task-oriented, to being calendar and time schedule-oriented. Work from a schedule, not from a list. Because when you work from a schedule, you're going to be very aware of how time is going, how it's passing, and are you or are you not getting the results you really want. So here's your bonus tip. Once you employ that practice, keep it in front of you, that map. I call it time mapping. Keep it in front of you and document your actual results. Well, how long did that take? What was the interruption? How did I handle it? And what do I want to do differently? So I guarantee you, and I'm putting my name on it, and that's because I've taught this across North America, and I've had myself and other people very much successful with these techniques, and that is look at your list, map it out, work from your limits, and take your tasks, make appointments with them, estimate how long it'll take, and then track how you use your time, and I guarantee you that will radically change your productivity, and you will begin working smart.
Well, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please click like and share it with the rest of your networks, and join mine on Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And if you're not on my list, come on over to www.wiredatheart.com and have a wonderful day. Conquer that distance.